It can be argued that sports nutrition started in paradise. Do you remember when Eve gave the apple to Adam? It was to make him as strong as God. As far back as ancient Greece, nutrition has always intrigued us as humans. Nutrition historically has been linked to performance and health. You do know it's Hippocrates who said, if we could give every individual the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too little and not too much, we would have found the safest way to health. The diet of most Greeks and Romans was predominantly vegetarian. It consisted of cereals, fruit, vegetables, and legumes, and even wine diluted with water. There is much debate about what athletes should eat and what the ideal composition of an athlete's diet is. How much carbohydrate should it contain? How much fat and how much protein? Are vitamin and mineral requirements increased? The fact is, there is no one ideal diet for all athletes. The optimal composition of an athlete's diet will depend on the sport the athlete engages in and the amount and type of training the athlete undertakes, and whether or not the athlete needs to manipulate their body weight or body composition. You know the gold standard for strength is protein? And where do the majority of athletes seek protein from? Meat. And truth be told, that's not true for everyone.
Hello, my name's Chanel Tolley, and I'm here to tell you that not all Vikings eat meat because I've been a vegan for 51 days. So I first have had initial ideas of being a vegan probably straight after high school, so a couple of years ago. I thought that being an athlete, I wouldn't be able to maintain a lifestyle and balance, but I've seen others do it before. I've watched documentaries. I also was inspired by friends back home who took on their vegan journey. So initially there was that transition phase where I kind of struggled at the start with energy levels and I had to adjust. I just ate more, pretty much. Just heavy, dense foods. Like carbs are okay if you're an athlete, you use them up as energy. So the main issue, I guess, is just meeting all your macros, all your micros, making sure that you're strict with your diet. It's very repetitive, so you just have to remember that what you're eating is pretty much the same every day, but you do what you have to do. For breakfast, I'll eat a bagel. For lunch, I'll be eating, 3 plates of food, heavy content of vegetables, grains, trying to meet all those macros. I definitely feel the pressure this year, but that wasn't the reason why I became a vegan. I've received more backlash being a vegan athlete than I even thought that I may have before I started the journey. And, it's just people telling me, you don't look strong, you look like you've lost too much weight, you look like you're getting bashed on the court. But I think it goes beyond just the game of basketball. I'm doing it for because I think it's ethically right. I think it's, good for the environment. I don't want to be relying on animal products and also the health reasons as well. So it goes beyond the court.
It's definitely possible for an athlete to be vegan or vegetarian despite the misconceptions. You just have to, if you decide to become vegan or vegetarian, you just need to fill in the gaps in your diet that would be left otherwise by animal proteins. So just making a concerted effort to fill in those gaps, whether it's supplementation, making sure that you do the right research about how to replace those proteins, stuff like that is really important.
Hi, I'm and I'm here to tell you that not all Vikings eat meat because I've been a vegan since July 13, 2019. I remember in high school, after a tournament, I was sitting in the recliner and me and my dad had just got Carl's Jr. and I was eating a burger and fries and everything was fine until I sat up and I got up to walk around and I couldn't walk. It hurt to walk. My feet were swollen. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was happening. That happened back in high school, but my gout started coming back this past summer, and I wasn't a fan of it. I was like, nope, I don't want this, I don't like it. Get rid of it. I don't know how to get rid of it, but I'm gonna start being vegan, because I was in California at the time. I'm like, yeah, I'll be a vegan. It'll be fine. It'll be not easy, but we'll figure it out. And it's been working, so I feel healthier. I have gained weight, but it's all muscle, and I feel healthier. Does that make sense? On the mat in practice, especially like when I'm taking my vitamins and everything's going smoothly, like I feel good. So I'm usually up at 5:30 a.m. I work out, I have oatmeal packets, and I have a protein shake before I go to class. I go to class, do my thing. I have lunch, which is very carb based, since I'm getting ready for practice and I need that energy to just perform. After practice, we have dinner, and I usually eat something protein based, well, like beans, lots of beans, because beans and like fruit. that's what I have. Being a vegan has helped me become more mindful about my body and what I put into it. It's helped my mentality change a lot. I've been diagnosed with like certain mental type things, and it's actually like helped me a lot in that way, not only in like my athletic performance, but in my mental area. Like I've been more positive, and like I said, I was more naturey, and I think that's helped me a lot, actually.
My name is Henry Max Ape. I'm here to tell you that not all Vikings eat meat, because I've been a vegetarian for 36 months. When I was 15 or 16 years old, we usually go to farms in New Zealand, right? We went to this farm in particular where they actually had a slaughterhouse right next to it. I was keen to go to the farm because I loved animals ever since I was a little kid. There's a lot of pigs, there's a lot of sheep as well. And I remember seeing and hearing one of the pigs just screaming out. I was wondering what it was. Obviously, as a curious 16-year-old, you go and see what's going on. And at the slaughterhouse, these guys were actually inhumanely abusing these animals, and it was something that I was really against. It was a really traumatic experience because I love animals. Like, I would never hurt a fly. Like, that's something that I believe in, and ethically I didn't believe it was right. I did a lot of research on what I was eating, the nutrients, proteins that I needed to take to make sure that I was performing at the highest as a volleyball player and as an athlete. And I made sure that I was doing the right things, eating healthy, eating right, eating the right amounts, to make sure that I'm performing at the peak. So the first time I told my parents that I was transitioning over to vegetarianism, they actually took it as a joke. They laughed a little, say, hey, are you serious? And I was like, hey, yeah, I'm serious. I want to become a vegetarian. So I didn't eat meat for a week and a bit. And they were like, hey, what's going on? Henry needs to eat. So they finally realized that I actually was making a statement saying, hey, I want to be a vegetarian, because not all Samoans are vegetarians. I don't think I've met a Samoan who doesn't eat meat. So for me, I think it was something special for myself, and the fact that my parents actually supported me along this journey, I was really happy that I was going on with this.
A meat-free diet for endurance athletes is really not all that different from a normal healthy diet, with the exception, of course, of the meat. You can take it as far as you want, and some vegetarian and vegan athletes tend toward raw and gluten-free diets. Citing even greater energy gains, there are differing degrees of health in every diet. Rather than changes made for performance or health, those that choose to go meat-free are joining the ranks of elite athletes from around the world. Tennis superstar Venus Williams claimed that not only did her vegan diet help her on the court, but it made her feel like she's doing the right thing. Even the famous Terminator Arnold Schwarzenegger stated, I stay away more from the meats and more from the animal products, because there was this misconception that that's the only way you get big and strong. So now I back off that and I feel much better. So now you know, not all Vikings eat meat.
Shut up and sit down.